It was a darkish room. It had a window on one side, and even though it was day outside, maybe around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, inside the room was still dark. Next to the window, there was a cot, and I could see my grandmother lying on the cot. She was unwell. So I decided to go down and bring some medicines for her. I picked up a small glass bottle, I put on my shoes, and I went down the building. There was a small maidan. I crossed the maidan. There was a main gate. I came out of the main gate. There was a narrow road, and I walked along the narrow road till it came to the junction of a highway. A huge, big, busy highway. Lots of trucks and buses were zipping up and down monstrously, creating noise and ruckus which I was not prepared for. I was stunned. I stood stunned. Good afternoon, my name is Amitabha Singh. I am a filmmaker. And I am here today because I got lost. It was in 1971. I was not even 3 years old. Another time, on a Sunday afternoon, I stood beside a narrow, sleepy road and looked at these imposing gates of the Film and Television Institute of India in Pune. The gates had a very strong pull for me, but I was still very unsure. I knew nothing of the world inside those gates. I knew nothing of the world of filmmaking. And I was still on the outside. Today, I feel really fortunate and thankful to FTII to have taken me in, to have given me space, and to have mentored me in a way that I could move forward in my own professional capacity and space. FTII definitely opened up a huge spectrum of knowledges for me to learn from, and I'm a good learner. So today, with complete surety, I can say that there is no other place in the world which can do what FTII has been doing in efforts to mentor aspiring filmmakers in India. During the years that I was studying in the institute, naturally my learning curve was very, very strong. But along the way, somewhere, I also picked up tendencies of overindulgence and a false sense of self-importance. During the second year, we have to make a short documentary film within Pune. But in the newspapers, I had come to know of a radio telescope facility being set up at a place called Narayangaon, about 80 kilometers away from Pune. So I approached the institute authorities and managed to persuade them to allow me and my team to travel to Narayangaon and make this documentary film. So one day, while me and my team members, we were setting up our equipment on the location for this documentary film, in a very self-occupied, noisy, boisterous kind of a way, a gentleman quietly walked up to me. He shook my hands and he said, "Good afternoon. I am Jayant Narlikar." That handshake changed my life. Because in front of me was this person whose understanding and knowledge of universe remains unparalleled. A person whose name we would take in the same breath as Einstein or S.N. Bose. The warmth in his handshake, the sincerity in his voice, the earnestness in his eyes told me that I'm being touched by a giant star of the universe. For me, that moment, an age-old saying came true, that if you face the universe, even for a fraction of a second, it can be quite a humbling experience. Meanwhile, in the same universe, at the same time, in another world, there were some other giant stars who were trying innovative ways to help people keep counting. And once again, I found myself on a crossroad of a different kind. This was around the beginning of my career in 1994. My career took off rather well. I would step out every day with an aim and aspiration to create visuals of unmatched beauty. In the process of doing so, I would choose to surround myself with tons and tons and tons of equipment and gear. At any given day, my sets would resemble an overcrowded, overstuffed warehouse where every inch of the space was cluttered. At the same time, in another part of the world, a cinematographer was creating visuals of unprecedented beauty. It was his visuals that I would dream of, that I would wish to be able to recreate. Sven Nykvist, one of the greatest cinematographers of all times. Frame after frame, film after film, this gentleman was creating such outstanding visuals in modern cinema that they would remain iconic forever in the journey of cinema. Because cinema is a visual medium. It is a visual experience. Around year 2000, when the exchange of knowledges and information was easing up globally, I happened to get hold of a DVD which had the making of a film which Mr. Nyquist was shooting. Through the making camera, when I saw Mr. Nyquist working, it literally, really shattered the ground under my feet. Because I could see that this gentleman was creating the most iconic visuals of cinematic history with such marvelous simplicity and ease. From that day onwards, my journey started into this ongoing process and training to unlearn. Step after step, day after day, year after year, I gradually train myself to go out and create my visuals with simplicity. And with every piece of equipment, with every piece of gear that I dropped behind, I could definitely feel a sense of liberation under my wings. So, when I happened to shoot The Good Road in year 2011-12, I was somewhere closing into that zone of being able to create visuals with simplicity. I was somewhere getting peaceful into a happy space about being able to get close to creating visuals which said far deeper, far more than what they simply would stand on the screen for. Incidentally, the story of The Good Road is of a child who gets lost on a highway. After Chiller Party, this was my second film that I was shooting with children. And both the experiences put together, they opened up a new door for me. Every life is a story. Every life is made of stories. And in today's time, when the audiovisual medium has become the most popular, the most common, the most convenient way of sharing and telling our stories, I realized that it could be of great merit if I could bring my skills of filmmaking closer to children. With that idea, in 2014, Cinevidya started. Under Cinevidya, we hold filmmaking workshops for children all across the country. In a 3-day or a 5-day filmmaking workshop module, children get to learn and practice the basics, the fundamentals of audiovisual content creation. And by the end of these workshops, there are many children who feel comfortable and confident enough to be able to create their own short films. More than 35,000 years ago, our ancestors were expressing themselves visually on cave walls. Today, when our digital palm prints have become permanent more than anything ever before, I think the time has come that we need to look into this whole space of audiovisual content creation with a completely new sense of relevance and a lot of responsibility. That is where I feel this idea of Cinevidya finds its common ground with children. In today's world, I feel that we are really fortunate that we have so many of the giant stars who will continue to keep on inspiring us in whatever way that we choose to go forward. Now it is up to us to be able to build a way forward which has a larger, greater, common good at its heart. Today I am really honored and humbled to be here in company of such a wonderful audience. I would like to thank you deeply for all your time and attention. I know that I am here today because I was found at the right time by the right people. I feel that in our lives, it is not so much about just me or just you. I think it is about all of us. It is about us together. Thank you so much. Thank you.